All right, good morning, everyone. This is page 39 and 40 of the equations. We're going to solve multi-step. I'm going to do 3 of them. So let's begin by filling in the blank. It says before you isolate the variable by using inverse operations or opposite. We talked about that last week. You must first make sure that both sides of the equation are, I'm going to put simplified. Okay, and I'll show you what that means in these examples. So I'm going to start here with question 1, and let's see what we have. We have a 10x minus 7 minus 7x equals 20. Now, what I notice right off the beginning is I have 2 sets of x. So that's what simplified means. So I'm basically going to take 10x minus 7x. Let's do that again. 10x minus 7x. Basically, 10 minus 7 is 3, and then you put an x there. And then I'm going to have my minus 7 equals 20. Now let's look at the minus 7. The only single digit number on this side is the minus 7. So I combined these two. 10 minus 7x is 3x. Brought down my minus 7, brought down my 20. Now it's a 2-step. And let's finish it. Remember, that goes away. We have 2 positive numbers. I'm going to divide by 3. And then that is going to give me x equals a positive 9. Now what you could do is plug it back, the 9 back into the x's and see if it equals 20. We're not going to do that at this point. Okay, next one I'm going to do is this one right here. This one's a little bit different, has a different ending to it. So let's look what we have right here. I notice first I have 2 different k's, but I also have 2 different single digit or double digit numbers without a variable. So I've got to combine the k's first. So 13 minus 14, that's going to give you a negative number. That's a negative 1k, so I'm just going to put a negative k. You know there's a 1 in front of that. Now I'm going to do 21 minus 13. So that would be a positive 8. And then I'm going to set that equal to 5. Now we're down to a 2-step. We make this long equation into this short 2-step. But notice I have that negative k. You want your variable to be positive. So first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the 8 like I usually do on a 2-step. So this goes away, this k, and then I'm going to subtract. Now notice that's going to be a negative 3. So let's stop right there. You need to have this k or this letter as a positive. Now it's a negative. So here's why I did this one. To get that a positive number, you've got to multiply both sides by a negative 1. So a negative 1 times k, negative k, is a positive k. A negative 1 times negative 3 is a positive 3. So now I've turned my negative variable into a positive. So what I did, combined the the 2 k's, got negative k. Combined the 21 and the 13, got 8, and then I started my steps, and then at the very end I noticed the k is negative, so I had to change that into a positive. Oftentimes you don't have a negative variable, but for that one we did. Okay, so this only this step right here is if you have a negative variable. Okay, we didn't here. Let me bring this down. We had a positive variable here, so we didn't have to do that. This one we had a negative variable, so we did have to do it. Okay, so I'm going to do one more. We'll do this one right here. Now, we have something different here also. We have parentheses, and you have that negative 3 on the outside. And you know that's the distributive property. So you've got to multiply negative 3 by 2n and negative 3 by negative 7. So let's do that first. That's going to give us a negative 6n. How did I get a negative? Well, I've got a negative 3 times a positive 2. Negative 3 times negative 7, opposite, is going to give me a 21. And I almost forgot about that n right there. And that equals negative 21. So let's go through the steps and see what I did. I did the negative 3 times the positive 2 and got 6, negative 6. N, don't forget the n. Negative 3 times negative 7 is a positive 21. And then I just brought down this n and continue with that negative 21. Now, let's look and see what we have now. I see I have two n's there. And that's a negative 6 minus a negative 1. Okay, negative 6 minus, so I'm going to write that down. Negative 6 minus 1. Okay, so that's going to give us a negative 7n plus 21 equals negative 21. Now it's very easy to say negative 6 minus, or put that as a negative 5n, but that's a negative 6 minus another 1 is negative 7. Now I'm down to a two-step. Whoops, not plus 21, minus 21 on both sides. This goes away, and we'll bring down my negative 7n, my equal sign, raise this up. Now I've got to deal with this right here, negative 21 and a negative 21. That's going to give me a negative 42. I'm going to divide by a negative 7 this time. This two negatives is going to give you a positive. So x equals a positive 6. Kind of ran out of room there. So let's run through it again. I dealt with the parentheses here. It's easy to multiply these two numbers and forget the negative 7 and just put that down there. But you've got the distributive property says you have to multiply it by both numbers. So I'm down to here, two-step. Actually, I'm not at two-step yet. 6n minus n is a negative 7n. Subtracted 21 from both sides, opposite. Came down here, ended up having to divide by a negative 7, so negative and a negative gives me a positive 6. So those are your three examples for page 39. I'm not going to do anything on page 40 today.